I'm well. I'm just happy to see you.
I'm happy to see you.
Yeah,
I was happy to
because
see. Hmm?
with I'm lucky enough because few times in my life I get to recognize people on the soul level,
Mm.
and it's such a wonderful connection because there are no attachments, there are no expectations. It's just the joining together and yeah, feeling the love in
That's
the
right.
formless. Yeah, so it's beautiful.
I know. And we when did we talk? 3 weeks ago? Was it 3 weeks ago?
Yeah,
Three,
about
four.
3 weeks ago. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I think everything started. God, that sounds so crazy. We say everything started happening such and such day, but it just keeps going and going.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, something started happening. It started with the women coming on telling their stories, and then a few men, and then you came on, and Nicola, and a bunch of other women, and uh, I don't know. The intel's just moving really fast. Uh, the downloads are just incredible.
Yeah.
Right up until an hour ago. So, but yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I think we're let's see, we got what, 46 people in the house. We can get started. So I'm not 100%, but I knew when I saw your name on here that I knew that it was meant to be.
Yeah.
So I knew I would be given the energy to get up here. I was actually on my back all day
Yeah.
struggling, and I had some incredible experiences. And I've gotten over the fever and the aches and all the stuff that goes
Mhm.
with whatever it was, and except
Yeah.
my stomach has all this acid, like massive acid in it. So I finally figured that part out, but I knew that I would be coming on the show with you
Yeah.
because
You don't need to figure out what happened.
yeah,
You know,
well,
every time I would go through
mm,
stuff, the aches, pains, diarrhea, and all kinds of unpleasantness,
yeah,
I would ask the light beings, what happened? And they would just say that what happened is what needed to happen.
yeah,
And that would be enough for me. I
yeah,
didn't need the explanation, the story, where it started, who created what. It was, yeah,
yeah.
I had to go through what
Yeah,
actually.
I get that. Yeah, that's why I said it's like an initiation. Oh, I had stories coming at me. I had from the very moment it happened. It happened. I believe it was let's see, what's today? Today's Friday. I think it happened on Monday. There
Mhm.
was a show on Monday or Tuesday, and during that show, something happened. And then right when the show was over, I felt it. And then
Mhm.
somebody sent me a message and told me, "Oh, this happened. You got attacked." And I'm like, "Whatever." And
Yeah.
I did go through I even did a video on it the next morning, but I went through a procession of dark energy and myself
Mhm.
basically integrating.
Yeah.
They said, "Hey," and I said, "Hey, what's going on with you?" And I said, "We've been through this before. I'm not fighting, so let's just integrate." And so
That's
I
right.
went through that process, but then I realized it was something bigger. But today was interesting because I didn't ask them what's going on. I
Mm.
just knew it was, but I did hear it was a purging of purging and
Yeah.
preparation.
Yeah.
I saw a lot
Mm.
of Horus, Anubis, and Thoth, and death and life. And so it was all good. But then at one point, I got this father energy, and an orb appeared on my stomach.
Okay.
And it was a golden white light with a rose rim.
Oh, beautiful.
And
Hmm.
and so it like positioned on my stomach, and then out of it came like a shard of the same color, like a
Hmm.
air, like lightning. and then the orb went in my navel, and
Yeah.
then the lightning went in my navel, and that was it.
Yeah.
I didn't feel nothing, but I knew in that moment that, hey, you're gonna be all right.
It was done. Yeah.
So
So
yeah.
it seems, Todd, that you went through a major clearing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So before the orb could be embodied in your being, you had to clear a lot. And that's it. And the process is done. And it wasn't physical. You had physical symptoms,
Oh yeah.
but it was an energetic integration that needed to take place. And yeah,
That sounds
it's
good to
not
me.
always pleasant.
Yeah, tell me about it. I don't have any vices left anymore. I have
Oh
nothing.
well.
I have not. I'm on juice, and I don't really eat meat. I might eat meat,
Yeah.
once in a while, but that probably is everything else is gone. I think even coffee's gone
Yeah.
after this episode. I'm just like, I can't even look at it. Can't think about it.
Yes, but it's not like you making a conscious decision not to drink coffee. It happens organically.
Exactly.
You just look and you say, this is not for me right now.
Yeah. Everything
And
else left
nothing
that
is
way.
set in
Yeah.
stone, like I won't have coffee anymore.
No.
You just look and yeah.
Yeah. If I do, but it won't be like, I don't know. Anyway, that's what's happening. That's
Okay.
what's been happening. What's been happening with you? What's been happening with you? What's
Well,
been
I'm
going
glad
on?
that you got the energy to sit because today is the 1st of October, 21. So there is a lot of ones, and it's 10 o'clock in the morning. So the energy has been building up. I could feel it for the last few days. So it's an important interaction, important transmission. So that's what I know. And
the last few days.
yes, and I can feel it. Yeah. So there's a buildup of energy. It's like the beings are gathering around, gathering the energy. So this transmission can be not just words exchange, but energetic transmission. So the words have power in a sense. They're not empty words. They are words that have substance. But what I've been getting taught is that like we all feel that it's time, but for me, it's time that we get together, but we not to talk.
Right.
There is so much talking, and it's just noise. And it will be time for us to get together, but in stillness and in silence.
Yeah.
And just being in the light. And it's difficult because the mind knows nothing about being. So the mind doesn't get it, what it means to be. But when we gather together in the light, and that's when we are sharing our own beings, and then we can be in peace, and we can be in love, and we can be in joy and have harmony. Yeah. So when we're being together in light, there is no division because we're meeting we're sharing our being. Yeah. Like when we get together, and it happened for many years that we got together to talk, to exchange, to share, talk. But that was on a mental level, and it was important. But now the feminine energies are coming through, and the feminine energies are about being. Being grateful. You can't do gratitude. You have to be grateful. You can't do peace or love. How do you do love? You have to become loving.
It's true.
So these are different states of being, but that we will be getting together just to be, because there is just too much noise.
I agree. I totally agree with that. The last show I did before this happened to me, she had and I'm sorry, I can't remember her name, but she had a story. She had a similar story to a lot of people, and so she came into a lot of healing abilities, and in her story, she was just talking about her life, and And so she, in her story, she, you know, she said that she, through her story, that she had gone to different healers.
Yeah.
And I've heard a lot of healers talk about that, how if they've got something going on, they'll go to a healer and then the other healers will come to them. And you know what I mean? So I said to her, you know, everything's changing. I wonder if, you know, because it's all physician heal thyself, right? Like, I mean, I want, you know, it's all about self-empowerment. And I have access to everything I need. Just like in my own situation this past week, I did a lot of stuff on my own. I had a lot of people send healing. I had I had some a couple of things I did with people directly, but ultimately I know that it's all contained in me. And so I said to her, I wonder if the day's going to come sooner than later where we just sit next to each other. And like tuning forks, we just harmonize and everything is brought into equilibrium, no matter what it is.
Yeah, exactly. That's my feeling, that we will just be together and the harmony will be restored.
Yeah.
You know, like I spent 22 years working with people, like in groups and individually. And it was the old way, like I would listen to their stories and then we would do inner child healing or hypnotherapy session. But once the sounds, the sacred sounds and the light language started to come through, the light being said that the not so much new, but now healing will happen through the sounds.
Yeah.
So we just need to be in that vibration, in that frequency, and then our bodies and the emotions and the mental body and emotions, they will come into harmony.
Yeah.
And it will be so the stories will no longer be relevant.
That's right.
They said all people need to do is come and lie down and just open up to the sounds. And they will do all the work. And they said it will be especially important for younger people because they already wired differently to what we were. Like we were the in-between.
Yeah.
But the younger generations, they already wired differently.
Yeah.
So it will be much easier for them to come into harmony. And healing will happen just like that. No more digging out why and who did what and when, and just open up and receive. So it's very exciting.
No more stories. Yeah, no more stories, period.
Like no, because I don't need to know your story. All I need to do is open up for the frequencies to come through to you and just bring your instrument.
That's right.
into the harmony with what is. Yeah.
So Morgan and I were just comparing notes quickly for 45 minutes ago. But it's the first time we got to talk today.
Okay.
And last night, so yesterday was very fast, and I have a lot of lucid dreams. I'm in and out of sleep. And so I ended up going to bed. I don't even know. But I got up an hour and a half later. I thought I was going to bed for the night. She was still up, which was she should have been asleep. And so two things happened. One, you entered I don't know why, but I had an interaction with Nicola Farmer. We got on cam real quick and we did some stuff together, and that was a whole nother amazing story. Then I was thinking about you, and I was thinking about how y'all are alike. And then I don't know why y'all were in my field. The next thing I know, she says, she can't get phone calls where she's at. But somehow she got your phone call. Your call came through last night. And I said, well, that's crazy. I was just thinking about it. And then next thing I know, I was typing a thank you on a post in the Soulogy group where people had sent, healing and love. And at the same time, she was typing a message of gratitude at the same time. We both pushed the button at the same time. So there was some type of and that's why I knew I had to come on. But a little while ago, we were kind of just doing a review of the last 24 hours. And this came up about the feminine energy. And I said to her, you know, what was it, like 60 or 80 million women were killed in the 13th and 14th century, you know? But if you go back and look at the way the world was then, before they were taken out, before that energy was removed, they didn't run the governments and they didn't run the institutions. Their power was in what you're talking about. Their power was in holistic healing. Their power was in their gathering. Their power was in their telepathy. That was the way of life. That it was indestructible. You know, it was a force of no physicality. And I believe that's what's coming back now. And I think that's what you and those like you are bringing forward now, especially when you can sit here and you can say, for years, I gathered with people, because a lot of them could say that. A lot of them could say that they gathered with people or worked with people one-on-one and in groups for 15 or 20 years doing healing, and you don't see them doing it anymore. It's becoming like you're talking about it. It's just becoming like a conscious merging, I guess. A being.
And we need to acknowledge, you know, in few transmission, the light beings talked about power, external power and internal power. And the internal power, it's being developed over lifetimes. And I think, as you said, it's time for us women to acknowledge how powerful we are and to get in touch with that power. And only then can you align your thoughts, your words, and your actions. You see, they have to align. You cannot think one thing, say another, and do something else.
It's true.
And that's what we human beings do. We think something, we say something, and people just talk. But there is no power behind those words.
No.
And behind the actions. So we need to acknowledge that we are powerful beings. But in order to do that, we need to get to the integrity of the heart. You see, that's why I love life. And I love the spirit world, because there is an integrity in vibration. Means until you embody a certain vibration, you cannot go through. You cannot move to that vibration. So you can talk about it as much as you like. You can bargain and do whatever, but it's only through embodiment that you can actually, it's like a door that it's open, but you cannot move through. And, you know, I experienced that with gratitude. Like years ago, I didn't know anything about gratitude. And then I read somewhere and I thought, oh, what is it? So I went internally and I said, what is gratitude? Where is it? Who has it? And there was a suggestion in the book that I look around every day and find 10 things that I'm grateful for. So I thought, okay, I'm going to do this. So I made a commitment with myself that every day for, let's say, 2 months, I will do that. And in the beginning, it was challenging because at that time, I didn't love life. Life was difficult. I was angry with life, frustrated, confused. Life made no sense to me. And I couldn't see. I looked and said, what is it to be grateful for, really? And I couldn't see it. But as I was doing the exercise, it was still just mental, just looking around and saying, oh, I'm grateful for the house that I live in. But it was with this kind of attitude, I'm grateful, but I didn't feel it. It was simply a looking for things I'm grateful for. So that went on for a while, but then I had a different experience that changed from thinking to feeling. I went to get a cup of coffee one day, and the price of coffees was going up and up and up. And I was really resenting the fact that I'm paying so much money for a cup of coffee. I mean, it's coffee, a little water, and, a cup. Big deal. But as I was sitting there, something happened to me, and I was being shown the journey of how I get to get the cup of coffee. Meaning I saw coffee being planted by people, and then harvesting the coffee, and then roasting it, people transporting the coffee. A person got kind of inspiration to open a coffee shop. He bought them coffee machine. All that, so I was able to see the effort that actually went into my desire for a cup of coffee. And something happened, my heart opened up, and I thought, oh my God, and I'm whinging that I paid for a cup of, I could see the bigger picture. Wow. And the same happened to me when I turned the tap of water to get some water at home. I could see all the pipes and all the people involved in the process of me just turning the tap. And I would go, oh my God, thank you. But the thank you happened naturally. It wasn't like thank you from the head because it's nice to say thank you. It started to come from the heart area. It was, I could see, I would go and buy bread, a loaf of bread, and I could see the baker getting up at 3 o'clock in the morning and the wheat being planted and all the journey. So I can just buy, like life knew beforehand that I will need a piece of bread. So all the effort went in, and I just became so grateful for so many things. But it was feeling like saying thank you to life. And that changed things. That changed the vibration that I felt. And then you can say, then it kind of, you go through the door, then you can say, I am grateful. It's I am grateful. I no longer think grateful thoughts. I am grateful.
Yeah.
And the same process applies with peace or love or trust. They no longer words, they're part of your vibration, and that changes everything. So just talking about gratitude, I had a client, and when he came, he said that for 10 years, he's been walking around saying, I'm grateful, I'm grateful, I'm grateful, I'm grateful. So I asked him, are you grateful? And he said, no. So I said to him, you know what? Take off your shoes and go home without shoes for 2 days. Just walk around without shoes. And it was winter in Melbourne, so it's cold and wet. And he laughed, like, ha, 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 ha. And I said, no, I'm really serious. Take off your shoes, go home, go on the train, walk home, go to work without shoes, 2 days. That's all it's needed. And then you will start to feel the gratitude for a pair of shoes. Only when you feel the cold, the wet, how your feet might even bleed. You have to feel it to appreciate what you have. He wouldn't do it.
He wouldn't do it.
No, because you see, this is the effort. People, you have to put effort into becoming.
Yeah, that's true.
It doesn't happen just by talking about it.
That's right.
It takes effort. But yes, so that's the difference. And
it sounds like he was giving the universe a solicitation for a dark night of the soul.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, it's true. I mean, and you're right. And I'm watching this happen, and I'm watching myself first and foremost, because I guess the veils are getting thinner. We are seeing things more clearly. Things are more transparent. We're getting used to that. We still have old patterns, just like you said. If I know something, doesn't mean I got something.
Right.
That door thing you're talking about, I get that. Like, I totally get that. Like, I feel like even right now, I saw that door. I saw a door. I saw that all-seeing eye several times the last 3 or 4 days. There was something happening. I don't understand it, but I know something was getting embodied. And you're right about the gratitude, uh, especially the gratitude, because to me that's the gratitude and humility are the number two or 1 and 2 for me, because that tells me where I'm at. But yeah, I had the luxury of being homeless for 2 years, and I know what you did or you asked that man to do. It would not have even taken a day.
Yeah.
There's so many things go in your head, like what would people think about it? You're gonna go
Yeah.
walk down the street with no shoes on. What do people think of me?
Yeah.
I was 49 years old, and I'm thinking, what do people think of me? What do they think of me? Like that, and then finding a place to sleep or finding something to eat. Yeah. So I asked for a dark night of the soul. It sounds like your client asked for one too.
Yeah.
But what I was getting at is this whole thing with aligning the thoughts, words, and actions seems to be interrupted by the patterns of the ego.
Yeah,
And
that's
that's
true. Yeah.
and that's where I'm going with myself now. Like I like look at my patterns. Why? And I know a lot of people have talked about this. This isn't anything new. But where I'm really getting it is where I'm watching others, and because of the more amplified telepathy and transparency and aptitude that we all are having, you can see things in others, which is great. But to be able to see it and not judge it, to see it for a message to yourself as opposed to a judgment on them, that's helping me a lot. I took a lot of people into my space over the last week, working on myself, noticing things, and bringing them into myself. Because I can't look at you and say, with you it's easy, but like say somebody else, I can't look at him and say we're one, and we're one. I have to feel it. That's what you're talking about.
Yeah.
You know.
Yes, it's so that will be the biggest breakthrough for people, because we've been living in the mind, governed by the mind for so long. We think it's normal, but now it's about feeling. That's why the resonance is so important. So you can listen to 10 people talking, and they could be very eloquent and use the right words and promise you things. But you need to feel.
Yeah.
Can you feel the resonance with them? And if not, walk away. We will have to discern now. But feeling opens up everything.
Yeah.
In one of the transmissions, they showed me, like, when people start to feel, the whole world will change. Because right now, when a man strikes a woman, he thinks and he can justify why he's doing this in his own mind. But when he starts to feel, so when he strikes a woman, he feels it himself. And he would go, oh my God, I didn't know that it feels like this. The sensation, it's horrible. And because he will be able to, it's just an example, feel it for himself, automatically he will apologize for it. The sorry will come from his being. And he will not do it again because he doesn't want to hurt himself.
Yeah.
When politicians get together and debate about spaces for children or how to create kindergartens or things like that, they will feel the cramped conditions the kids are in. They will feel it, and they will make different decisions, different choices. So it will no longer be about mentally coming up with some kind of ideas, because in the mind you come up with something, but it creates a problem somewhere else. And it's constantly navigating through problems. But once people start to feel, it will be a completely new world. And it will be the same with people. Like, they will start to recognize each other on the soul level. So it's no longer, when you're looking for a partner, you will not have a list of attributes and ticks and what you want in a partner. It will be irrelevant.
Yeah.
You will look at each other into each other's eyes, and you will remember, you will recognize one another.
Yeah.
And there'll be no more jealousy, because when that union forms, no one else will interfere, because they will all know that these two people belong together for a period of time.
Yeah.
So no one will want someone else's husband or things like that, where that the world will change once we start to feel and connect on the soul level, not just on the personality level.
Yeah, it's like everybody would fully become a super empath, right? Like, I mean, in
That's
terms
right.
of,
That's a good thing.
And so, and so I wanted to ask you too, because this
Yeah.
kind of came up this week.
Mm-hmm.
So I've adopted years ago, 2016, I've adopted I open my heart to anything, no matter what it is. I feel like, and this is only my truth. This is only I'm not trying to, but I'm trying to expand here and maybe help others or through your answers and your knowledge. So, but my thought, I got to the point where I went, if everything is made of the same substance in the end, maybe in this realm there's AI and there's different things and whatever, but we don't come from here. We're made in the image, and so this is just me. And so I would run into what we would call dark energies or whatever the case was, and not that they would all take me up on it, but I would say to them, I would open my arms and I'd say, I open my heart to you. Mm-hmm. And in other words, that was my way of demonstrating complete faith in love and in the universal God goddess. And so, I don't know, it did a lot for me. I'm not perfect. I can do it easier with the non-physical than the physical, because people can really piss you off, right?
Yeah.
but it's gotten better. But that feels like what you're talking about to me. That feels like, so I guess my question's twofold. One, do you feel like that's happening based on your downloads over the years, your transmissions? Do you feel like that's happening no matter what? No matter what goes on, everybody's frequencies being raised, we will all become fully aligned as super empaths. And if I strike you, I will feel the strike myself, that type of thing?
Not everyone.
Not everyone.
No, because you see what I was told, that the people whose hearts, because you mentioned your heart is open, but there is a lot of people whose hearts are not open, and they will have to go through heartbreaks. Because when someone goes through a heartbreak, it creates an opening for love to enter and then grow. But that's very difficult for some people. You see, it was very brave of you to stand open and naked, in a sense, just in love. Open yourself up and say, come, and I welcome you. And the same kind of thing happened while I was communicating with the light beings. It's not only beings of light came, but, pain came. Pain wanted to be brought into the consciousness as not as the enemy, but as I said, what do you want? And it said, I want to be loved and appreciated. And I said, who would love you? No one loves you. People hate you. And he said, that's the problem. I'm not the bad guy. So the same when greed came. Greed doesn't want to be undercover anymore. It wants to come to the light. And we need to acknowledge that we are greedy people. And it creates a lot of havoc because of that in the world. But it's undercurrent. You see, no one acknowledges that I am greedy. So it takes courage to look within and say, yes, I am a greedy woman. And I was told if I remain greedy, it will keep me stuck in my thought forms and just stuck. So it's very brave to open yourself up and to be able to acknowledge the what you call DACA parts of our being.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because they have to be incorporated and integrated. Then we become whole.
Yeah.
You know, if someone says to me, you're greedy before, a few years later, I would say, no, I'm not. But now I have no problem saying, yes, I am. There are times when I'm greedy. I was greedy for information. I was greedy for a lot of things. But just to acknowledge it. So all these energies are coming into the light, meaning you will be able to see it. There'll be no more hiding, no more secrets. Everything will be in the open. Remember last time when we talked, I used the analogy of if you spend all your life underground in the cellar somewhere. So life is different. You have to hide things from others. It's just difficult. It's all about survival. But once the light comes into the cellar, you can see what's around you, and nothing is secret anymore. Everything it's there for you to see. So it will be different, but not for everybody. For some people, it will. The road ahead will be truly difficult because they will want what was before.
Yeah.
And even now, people want to go back to normal. But what's normal?
Yeah. It's
and
normal's
what
gone.
wasn't that wonderful, really?
No.
So there is an opportunity for change. But
no, that's a great point.
Change. It's not embraced.
Yeah, that's a great point. I saw a meme the other day before this all happened, and it said, "Just remember that everybody, everybody's at a different level of maturity from a soul lineage. It doesn't mean that one's greater than the other. It just means we're at different points because it's a non-linear situation, right? So some people have come to learn one thing, and some people have come to learn another thing, and some people have a certain purpose, and this one has a purpose over here, and so that's another thing that that I guess isn't for me is important to remember, especially if I'm observing someone who I know or whatever that's being egoic or doing something. It's information for me, kind of like the greed thing, right? Like, hey, if I'm going to judge that person, then there is something in me that still needs to be healed or needs to be brought into alignment.
Yeah.
That's not the point. The point is that information is being given to me for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
And I think one of those examples would be, I think this is what you said, because I think this is what she told me. So like this, I don't disagree with people that say there's a psychic attack. I don't agree with it, and I don't disagree with it. I am in the middle. I look at observing somebody or something that's given me a message the same as a psychic attack. Let's just say it's a psychic attack. Now, the question is, do I need to protect myself? Well, again, I'm made in the image, and I'm only saying this for myself. I'm not saying this for anybody else. I'm just trying to make a point. I'm trying to find my way in this incarnation. I know my field is only as good as me. I remember in 2016, Lionsgate, I had probably 20 or 25 different entities came into my house. Saint Germain, Merlin, Jesus, Hathors. There was a reptilian. There was all kinds of them. Archangel Michael, and they told me, they said, we have put a third circle of protection around you.
Mm.
So they'd already come in 2 other times, but this was a big one.
Mm.
And they said, but just remember that this circle of protection is only as good as your faith in yourself.
Exactly.
So I thought, okay, well, it's the same thing every time. How big do I want to be, kind of thing. But I guess what I'm trying to say is there seems to be like a, we say own it. You said earlier, women, the feminine needs are acknowledge the power, be that power, and I think that kind of goes for all of us, and it is that feminine power that's lesser than in all of us, because that's what's been suppressed as within, kind of thing. But I think it's up to us, I guess, is what I'm saying. It's up to us. If we want to feel like we can be attacked, then so be it. What's the difference between that and looking at someone saying, oh, they're in their ego? Each way, there seems to be a disempowerment of myself because I'm giving credence to something outside of me. And it always seems to be the same thing every time. But I don't know. I'm still a bit delirious.
No, I tell you my take on it. I never protected myself. I never felt the need for it. I mean, people said, protect yourself, brother. I didn't. I didn't want to do it. Because like yourself, I felt that if I'm in the right vibration, what do I need to protect myself from? Mm. So it wasn't something that I did. However, I had an incident when, I was, I was told that I have an entity attached to me, and it made me very unwell. So it wasn't a pleasant experience at all. But anyway, it got cleared, and then I said to the light beings, what was that? I didn't like it. I don't want it. What was it? And they said that was an experience that you needed to go through just so you know that things like that happen. Yeah. You see, once I had the experience of when someone else tells me that that's what's happening with them, I can feel what they feel. Right. So I know. Now I have a knowing. I don't know about. I have a knowing about, like my personal experience. So that's a difference. Yes. So in my life, I had to go through a lot of experiences just so then I would know what it feels like, what it's like. However, after that, they told me, you are protected and you are guided. So I don't protect. I just make sure that I am in the highest vibration I can be. So when I'm angry, frustrated with the world and not agreeing and resisting and defending and searching outside, I'm not in my highest. When I look within, when I find the peace, when I love life and I feel being loved back by life, and I feel much different. So that's my take on it.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point too, though. That's it's if it's happening, it's meant to happen.
Exactly.
I mean, in other words, I ordered it somehow, some way,
right.
and I look at and that's why I say I don't agree and I don't disagree, because to me, if I'm observing someone and they're projecting, they're an ego or something like that, that's just the symbol. That's just the story. Yeah. The energy of it is I have a choice to stay over there, in which is a frequency I don't want to be in, or I can look at myself and see, what am I missing here? Now, by the same token, if I have something come at me and it's, say, a psychic attack, that's the story. It's still an energetic situation where I'm being given an opportunity to have an experience and also to expand.
But please, Todd, just please listen to those two different interpretations and how they make you feel. So if I say to you, I am being attacked, obviously I'm in fear.
Yes.
Or I'm being attacked, I'm in fear. If I say that I am having an experience of something that it's important for me to go through, I don't feel the fear. I feel empowered.
That's right.
That it's not pleasant. I'm not welcoming it. However, it's an experience I need to go through, and I'm going to be okay. You see, the fear, it's not there.
That's right.
So that's what I'm talking about with emotions and and vibrations. So whatever it is, you see, you're wise enough because you look within you questioning things, but you asking yourself, not so much other people, because it's your life, your experience. So you're no longer searching out there, tell me what's happening to me. Why am I feeling this? What's happening? No, you're saying to yourself, well, something is happening because I can feel it in my own being.
That's right.
And the mind always wants to know what and wants to label it. So someone says to you, oh, Todd, you had a psychic attack. And you go, oh, now I know what it was. But it doesn't bring you peace. Because then you're afraid what happens when I'm being attacked again.
Yeah. Or something had that power over me, and then it scares you.
That's right.
Yeah. And like even this experience, the first 48 hours was brutal. It was brutal. I thought, well, I went through everything. Right? Do I have COVID? Am I being attacked? Yeah, all that stuff. And then I started to go, wait a minute, what exactly is happening? So I look and I can see in my intestines, and it's just like, but what I see is the sacral. I see the sacral purging and powering up, but it doesn't feel good to me.
No,
it doesn't feel good. So then it went from looking at things, what is this experience beneath the human pain? So I aligned with the pain. The pain went away. And then I found myself going, and I know it sounds a little bit, but I was like, I love you. I love you for this. I know this is good, and again, I like what you said earlier because about the two different ways of saying something, because I can really relate to that when I was on the street. There was a lot of things that happened, a lot of traumas, a lot of things that were unjust and unfair. Yet two things happened. One, because you become very present. Like you get to a point where you go, well, what can I actually do as a human being to get out of this situation, this deep hole? Well, you take one step at a time.
Well, exactly. Just one step.
Right. Yeah. So you become very present oriented and you become very self-aware of your greater, than human aspects. You become more aware of your connection to the little things, infinite intelligence, and so this is good. I like that you said that because I think that will help a lot of people.
No, I think Todd, you see, you had to go through the experience, and now you're verbalizing your experience in a wise way. So you say, for me, it started in the mind. What is happening? But then you dropped in and you received an image of the internal world, what is happening. And at the end, and you see, the pain went away because the pain served its purpose. It only needed to bring your attention and awareness into a certain area of your body. Once you did that, it served its purpose, it went, And then you were able to embrace the experience. Yeah. So that's wise. That's not what people normally do. They panic. They take painkillers. They want someone else to bring them relief. Do something. But by doing that, they give the power away to someone else that they view as more powerful or more knowledgeable than they are. Yeah. But in your case, you take the power back and you say, let's have a look what's actually is happening.
Yeah.
But not on the mental level.
No.
But on the being level, in the totality of it.
Yeah. And you know,
I usually experience things and only later I get some information about it. So for me, it's no longer about information. It's just experiential.
Just the experience.
Just the experience of it. And I really don't need to know the labeling of it. I like clearing. I like the word clearing because that made sense to me over many, many years that the body was going through different clearing phases because it's only temporary. I know it comes, it moves through the body and it goes. If I don't resist it, if I don't fear it. So like yourself, I open myself up and say, okay, just do what needs to be done and then it's done. And sometimes they're really weird. Like I went to Iceland for a gathering, and afterwards I went to Poland, and I booked into a health resort just to rest. And all the time when I was there, I couldn't see and I couldn't hear. I mean, people were speaking in my native language around me all the time in a mealtime, lots of people, and all I could hear was bees buzzing. I couldn't hear a thing for 2 weeks. But I knew it's just something that I had to go through. And when I asked, what is this? Well, why isn't it I can see and hear? They said, it's just noise. You don't need that noise. You're listening from within now. So later when I was doing the group sessions, the bees would come sometimes just to cut through the noise that people are experiencing in their mind. Yeah, so some of the experience are really weird, but necessary. And I don't need to know. I just need to go through the experience and have faith. That's very important. Have faith. I'm going to be okay.
Yeah. Like what can happen, you know?
Well, a lot of things can happen, but if you have faith that whatever you're going through, the other things I learned over the years, it's that everything is for me. Everything. Because I would notice the nice things that would happen. Oh, life provided this for me and that, and that's wonderful. But even the things that are not, the mind judges as not that wonderful, they also for me. Yeah. So my understanding, deep understanding within my being is that life loves me and would never ever hurt me. So whatever I go through, I need to go through, but it's provided in a loving way. So then you open yourself more. You're not fearing it.
Yeah.
It comes from a different perspective.
Do you think that the whole world is basically, like, can we look at it as just a person? Like, you know what I mean? Like in terms of like, will the collective expand or not based on how much they take control of themselves, I guess, you know, responsibility for themselves?
You see, that's very good point, Todd. Very good point in a way that I don't know about the world. All I know is about myself. And it will take each person individually to take responsibility of their own being. And I got a real understanding of it when in one of the conversations I had was that they said to me, people pray for peace, but praying for peace does not work because peace resides in every one of us. So praying for peace, it's like praying for a heart that is already beating in your own chest. It's already there. So whatever we want to create in this world, we have to find it within ourselves. And it made perfect sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot go out there to pray for peace or to buy, or it's in me, but it's covered up with layers and layers and layers of untruth, of beliefs, thoughts, emotions, but it's there. So if we stop looking at the whole world, when will the world change? The world will change when we change. When we find the balance, the center within ourselves, and get in touch with the peace that is there, with the love in our hearts, the world will start to change.
That's a good meme.
But it's so much easier to look outside and look to others. It doesn't work like this.
I like that.
So the eyes have to turn inwards.
When will the world change? When we stop looking at the world and start looking at ourselves.
That's right.
Now, isn't that? But that's true.
That's true.
Because once you start, if you only looked at yourself, you don't have a choice. You can't look away. Because that once you get started, you know what I mean? Oh, I mean, you could, I guess you could go into addictions or, but I don't know. There seems to be a more prominent presence of universal energy today. I don't know what it is. The kids, the feminine, everything. I don't know, but people. There just seems to be something happening, and it's quickening. I don't know if does your information that you get, I mean, do you pick up on that?
I pick up on the fact that we're being shaken up, like wake up. And we are being given a lot of opportunities to do that. But if we want to go back to what was, it will be a painful process. So we have to start to open up and embrace the new ways. And the new ways will not be so much about thinking, but about feeling. So that will create a lot of resistance in a lot of people. If I would say to you that we're going to do a session now and an energy transmission, and it's going to assist you in the transition that you're going through, because the energies have changed. So we have to change with the light is here and the light is here to stay. So we have to learn to live, not like before, underground in the cellars, but in the open, in the light. So it will take a little time, but to have the opportunity to be in the light. So if I say to you that in this transmission, you will have the opportunity to be in the light, and it will create a change for you. It's transformative. There'll be a lot of people that won't believe it, because their belief system is still in the old, what they believed before. So much will have to change, the way people think, the way people perceive, the belief structures will have to crumble. And, it's very uncomfortable when belief structures crumble, because then you don't know, who am I? What am I doing here? All these things will come up for people. But it's time. It's definitely time. So if it's okay with you, can we do a short energy?
Of course. Whatever you want to do is fine with me. You know that.
But perhaps before we do that, I need to mention something, that what's going to happen? You're going to hear the sound of my voice, but it's only a fracture of what is actually taking place, what is happening. Because what is happening is that there is like an orchestra of different frequencies, codes, light codes, keys that are weaving themselves in you and around you.
Mm.
And sometimes the frequencies are very high and they can interfere with technology.
That's all right. We're used to it.
So even if you don't hear my voice, the vibration, it's still, you're still experiencing the transmission, but you might not be able to hear it with your physical ears.
Okay.
So that is important for people to understand, that there is so much more taking place than what you're actually hearing. And what you're hearing, it's a vibration that comes basically from the 11 appointed beings of light that work with me and through me. So it's not me making the sounds are coming through me for whoever is listening to it. And one more thing I would like to mention is when you listen, it's your experience is different if you're feeling. So instead of thinking, if you're feeling. So I'm going to mention that I hope my husband doesn't mind, but last time when we met, I did a short transmission. So he watched the interview and then he listened, and he said he didn't feel anything. So he decided to put headphones on and lie down and listen. And this time he could feel it. And the image he received, there was like a membrane around his heart area. And when the sounds were coming, they were piercing and marking the membrane. And then the sounds went into his cells and into his, even he said, as deep as his DNA.
Wow.
So I'm just mentioning that for people to know that things are happening. Even if you're not aware of it, you are being aligned with who you are, really. So I think that's all I have to say.
Yeah, that was a very good story. Yes, I love that.
Okay, so now if you can just close your eyes and feel, and when I finish, I'll give you just a minute or so, just so you can absorb the vibration. Yeah. Okay. Ashturihi namaka ikinekene sheka aku. Ushturuko ukoko no komakana I. Ishterike kaka I. Ishkoko konoko maka ikeke kishikete. Ishtarahana ikeke maka ukuku kishikete. Ishtaharaka ikonaka okuko kokoshi. Ashtarananaka akona ieka. Ohukoko maka ekesha. Ishtereke akokoko koisha. Ishteneneka ake. Aya amako oko haikaya. Ishe, ishe, ishe.
That was amazing.
Did you feel anything?
Absolutely, I did. From the first, I felt it right away. I felt a lot of stuff. It was like a journey. It was like a journey. Can't even see. No, it was like a purple Saint Germain type of violet thing went over me.
Yeah.
And then it turned a blue, and then it went gold, and then something happened with my physical heart. It started feeling uncomfortable, so I started going, okay, all right. So what it was then something else came in. So it was like it like brought some things up, and then it came in and fixed it. Yeah, it just kept going.
Yeah,
And going.
And this is just a short transmission. When I was having group sessions, it would go on for 15 to 20 minutes. So yeah, but
yeah,
it always happens what we need to receive right now.
Yeah.
In the group that we are, and then the people that will maybe watch it later, or yeah.
No,
it's all divinely orchestrated, It's
my mind never came into it, but at the end, my mind went, "Man, nobody can do this. This is how could you even make something up like this? This is like." And then my mind went, "How many?" I always ask Morgan this: "How many are there?" Because she told me this for years. She told me they're all over the world, and I'm like, where are they? But now they're all coming out. I'm like, how many are there? So it makes sense to me that all of these, like yourself, and those that can be, like a tuning fork, right? Like they can to connect them, just to keep connecting them. Because once to connect, I remember 10 years ago when I remember hearing, "You come together once, you come together forever." And I thought, yes. So like you just make that contact and you're always consciously connected from that point on. So it's like that. The more of y'all that are connected, that see each other, the bigger that energy gets. And we're where we need to be.
Yeah, and I know for myself that perhaps for a year or two, that's what I will be doing, sharing just being with people in stillness and in space, in silence, stillness. And then I will be channeling the sounds, and there'll be no explanations, no talking. And it was great when you said that the mind kicked in, because the mind will. I mean, you have a mind, but the experiences changes. When you're thinking about it or you're actually experiencing it. So anyway, I will be channeling the sounds and sharing them, no explanations, nothing, just experiences. And I think I will be doing that for a year or two, and then my role will change again. There'll be something else that I will be asked to do. But for a while, yes, it's just getting together and being, in the light. So I'm going to invite people to come and be in the light with me, if they choose to.
In Melbourne.
No, actually, see, I did that in Melbourne, but now, and I have to thank you for that, because of the interference of the frequency with the internet. I would be meeting with someone for individual session over Skype, and it just wouldn't work because of the frequencies. So I said, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing online stuff. I need to see the person. I need to be with the person. But once I had this meeting with you, part of the program, a switch, like something in me clicked. There was a switch. And now I'm ready to actually do that online.
Oh, that's perfect. That's perfect.
So people not only from Melbourne, because I know people in many parts of the world.
Oh, that's perfect.
And it will be wonderful just to invite people to get together and do that.
Yes. See, that's the connection I was talking about.
Yeah.
See?
Yeah. But just the experience of sharing with you and being with you, just clicked something. And I thought, yeah, okay, so now I can do it in that platform.
Yes.
So instead of me traveling somewhere else, we can just meet and be together in this.
That's what we do in Dimension anyway.
Thank you for that.
Thank you. Thank you. And we'll get together again. Let's do it again. Let's do it in a few weeks, or we'll see what comes up.
Well, whenever. I'm telling you, I feel like you're my brother.
We are.
And to get together, it's a joy for me. So whenever, I would love that.
And I gotta say, this is all part of it. I feel so much better. I started feeling better, as I was talking to Morgan, because I was on the couch. I'm like, I'm doing this, and we started talking, and as the energies exchange and started lifting, and then as we're talking, but then at the end there, I'm all lit up inside now.
Oh, good.
It's like, it's like a bunch of birds flying around in my body.
Yeah.
You're beautiful. I love you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. You take. Yeah, we'll go. Yes. And so we'll. I guess I'll be back.
We'll keep in touch.
Yeah, I'll be in touch, and I'll see you later. Best to you, and tell you.
Thank you.
And your
Love
husband.
You.
Okay, you
Bye.
take care.